I'm Erin Rayoyo, your Dravet Syndrome Foundation Family Network Liaison. Joining me is Amanda Stansfield. Amanda is the mother of a young adult with Dravet syndrome. She is a certified health coach, global speaker, and advocate for the epilepsy community. Amanda helps caregivers who suffer from burnout feel their happiest, their healthiest self, and live a vibrant, fulfilled life with purpose and with passion. Recently, along with Lindsay Dagan, another mother in our Dravet community, we had the wonderful opportunity of joining Amanda at Bar 3 Studio in Bellevue, Washington, for a mindfulness, movement, and meditation workshop. While we will not be airing that workshop live today, DSF is making this workshop available to those in our Dravet community so that you too can participate. Amanda is here to share how mindfulness, movement, and meditation are the pillars to successfully thrive and not just survive the daily traumas faced with raising a child or an adult with special needs. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you, Erin. Thanks for having me.
Now, we hear a lot about mindfulness these days. What is mindfulness all about, and why is it so important?
Thank you for asking that question. And it is very trendy at the moment. Mindfulness can be used in all areas of life, but you could think of it in the simplest form of being present. And in today's world, it's busy. There's a lot of noise, whether it be in our external environment or between our two ears, this constant noise. And mindfulness allows you to slow down, to be completely present. And then whether it be your decisions, your actions, the words you speak, they become purposeful.
Today is going to be a busy day for our community if they're participating in this workshop or whenever they decide to participate in this workshop. Is there something that they can do to help them be present while they're listening to this content?
Another great question. And I've attended many of the Dravet and even the epilepsy workshops over my journey, which has been 23 years with my daughter. And I think the one thing to remember is that you don't have to remember it all. And we get so busy writing down verbatim everything that these intelligent speakers are sharing, and we lose the moment. And so one thing that I've learned is I will use my phone and I'll just record. The other thing is I just will sit back and listen. There's always going to be many nuggets that you wish you'd retained or that you want to ask further questions. So if you allow the space to actually be present, truly listen, then maybe one of those nuggets will be something that you can later on come back to and get more information. The biggest takeaway is just being there, knowing that you have full permission to retain as much as you want. And at the same time, to know that these professionals, they're there for you, and not to be overwhelmed by the information that they're providing you, that today is not the only day that you get to hear this information.
Thank you. I think that many will find that helpful today. Now let's talk about movement. I'm trying not to should myself, and I know I shouldn't should myself, but I know that I should be working out or creating more opportunities for movement. It's often difficult for me to find time, and when I do find time, I often feel guilty about taking the time for myself. I imagine that I'm absolutely not alone in this. And what can you share with us about the benefits of practicing joyful movement, and how can we realistically get started?
Another great question, Erin. And the first thing I'd like to share is to take out the word workout from your vocabulary. Society tells us you need to move your body, and there could be a lot of overwhelm. It could be something that's happened in your youth, body image, self-shaming, that kind of thing, that puts this, I must move my body, and it's a negative. So if we can turn it into a positive, I just need to move my body. Well, what does that look like? You and I are having this conversation, we're sitting down, perhaps afterwards you stand up, you can stretch. So movement can look like anything. And some examples could be, you've got 5 minutes in your day, walk around the block. You could turn on music, throw a dance party in your house. It's one of our favorite things to do here. We have our jammies on, we're ready for bed, we turn on some music, we have ourselves a little dance party. Movement can be anything that makes you feel happy. It could be a deep stretch. Moving out in nature is always one of my personal favorites. Yoga, rowing, riding your bike, but not putting a name next to it. I am not working out. I'm moving my body. And today I have 5 minutes. Today I have 20 minutes, and knowing that there's no judgment associated with it, that it has to be something that comes from your heart and something truly because you want to, not because there's I must work out associated with it.
And what is it that makes movement so important, particularly in our lives of raising these children with disabilities, raising children that have these special medical and complex needs? Why is it so vital for us?
The one thing that you said in the previous question was guilt. And a lot of our guilt comes because we become very static. We become static with our actions, our repeated journey through our day. It's taking care of somebody else and putting yourself on the back burner. Moving your body gets out of your thinking mind. And our thinking mind can become very busy with the information that we're taking in, but also the voice in our head of needing to do more for that person that you love. So when you move your body, there becomes a somatic connection. You become more involved with where you are in the present moment. So that's the mindfulness component. And you actually become back to who you are. And a lot of us have lost our identity. And I can say that I've done that more than once. I've lost who Amanda is. I lost my core values, the principles that I live my life by. And I truly just became Stella's provider. So when you move your body, you can get out of the thinking mind, you can become more centered, you connect to your heart space, and you can come back to that fundamental principle of who am I?
Thank you for that. Now, finally, let's talk about meditation. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has a hard time quieting my mind, even in times right now where I have the privilege of being home alone while the children are at school. I know I'm not alone in that. In the studio, you led us through a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, and I would first like to say that meditation can look many different ways. And I don't think I was very clear with that in the workshop. So I'd really like to just let people know that meditation can look very different. It can look like you're seated in a chair. It can look like you're walking outside. It can look like you're laying on your back. You've woken up in the morning or as you go to sleep at night. It could be quiet. It can involve music. So meditation is a place of stillness. It does not mean that your mind will ever be empty, and nor should it. A lot of people go to church, they pray. It's a moment of stillness. It's mindfulness. It's being present, and it's connecting back to your authentic self. So in meditation, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a great tool of just becoming present. It's clearing out some of that noise that can be overwhelming. It can create that anxiety in our bodies. So when you are purposely placing your presence, and I'll share the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in a second, you just get out of your head. That clutter goes, that overwhelm, that stress just kind of dissipates. It's a whisper versus being right up here at the forefront of our mind. So the 5 is 5 things you can see. And you just want to glance around your room. You're not overthinking it. You're not labeling it. It's just quick. I see my light. I see art. I see a wall. I see a chair. I see a plant. That noise that's been in my head has gone just for that brief moment. So it's present. It's reconnecting with where you are in that moment. So 5 is 5 things I can see. 4 things that I can touch. It could be, I can touch my skin. I can touch the chair. I can touch the table. I can touch my hair. And it could be at the same time recognizing cold. It could be recognizing warmth. It could be recognizing something soft, something furry. So the sensation of touch. 3 things I can hear. And I usually ask people if they held their breath. So you can hear the sound of your breath. It could be an echo in the room that you're seated in. A dog barking outside. Maybe it's something deeper internal. 2 things that you can smell. And for me, I just took a shower and I have peppermint oil on my hands. Could just be what's happening in your room around you. Maybe you have something close by and you just take a moment to inhale, to use a sense. And the one is something you can taste. And that one always makes people giggle. Well, I just ate my breakfast, so I can clearly taste that in my mouth. But in the moment, it also allows you to connect. What can I taste? I can taste that amazing bowl of pasta that I made last night. I can taste the toothpaste remnants left in my mouth. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 brings you out of the chaotic mind. And it just allows you, it can take 30 seconds. If you have longer, it could take 2 minutes, where you just reflect on something other than the overwhelm that could be happening in that moment.
I have already started putting that to work. I've been, feeling kind of stressed about different pieces in my life. And when I find that I'm rushing around too much or having a hard time making a decision on what I'm going to do next, I have sat down and just done the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's been incredibly helpful just to help me take a moment for myself. And I feel that I'm starting to recognize and stop myself before I get to those places of feeling overwhelmed. So I do want to thank you for sharing that with us.
Now, Erin, probably one of the easiest ways that people can connect, whether they want to call it meditation, mindfulness, or just connection, if you rub your hands together, create a little bit of heat in your palms. Doesn't match what you're wearing. I have a sweater on, you have a nice cotton t-shirt. Place your hands over your heart. I invite you to close your eyes and just simply soften your gaze towards the floor. And allow space for 3 breaths. And just notice as you take this last breath that the intention to breathe has become slower. Release your hands from your heart and gently blink your eyes open. It took probably 45 seconds. You can do it anytime, any place, seated on the toilet, getting dressed in the morning, while your loved one is having their food or putting on their clothes. You can take the shortest time for yourself. And I will repeat the words that were once told to me by my daughter's pediatrician, her pediatric neurologist. Take care of yourself so you can take care of the person you love.
Thank you. And I think that that's something we all need to hear. We get so focused sometimes on our routine of taking care of the ones we love, and we forget to put ourselves on that list. Our community is not unique in that, but it is absolutely vital that we are taking care of ourselves. And that's what made it so important for bringing this topic up, especially on a day where we're going to be talking about some pretty heavy topics. Anytime we get together and talk about what goes along with Dravet syndrome, it can be fairly heavy. Do you have any other tips to leave us with for our day today?
That you are just as important as the loved one that you care for. It's so easy to forget about your self-worth, to forget about taking that 30-second pause for yourself. And all the hard work, the effort, the research, the conversations, the phone calls, the appointments that you put into caring for your loved one, you deserve the same. And it could be the reminder, just hearing that your worth is the same as the person that you love, no less. And in that moment of guilt where you are, oh, I shouldn't do this, or a friend invited me to do this, oh, but I can't do that, or, you know, things are really good at home, or I shouldn't leave, I need to be around it, or it's so chaotic, I can't leave. It's a lot of noise happening. Find presence, connect to who you are, and please remember that your value is absolutely the same as the person you're caring for.
Can you lead us in a couple of affirmations that we can use to get our day started here?
Affirmations can be as simple as, I am love. I am enough. I am worthy. I am life. My personal favorite is just I am. And not to label it, but just an acknowledgement of I am. You know, I am a part of this journey. I'm not an accessory. I am my life. My life does not live me. I am the choices that I make. So coming back to that present moment of mindfulness, that I am is what you make of it. I am is love. I am is health, abundance, prosperity, connection. Which one resonates with you today, Erin?
I'm sticking with just the simple I am. I think that one, I've not come across that one before, and it's really sticking with me today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of mindfulness, is just knowing that how you are in this moment is okay. Not to label it, not to associate guilt with an emotion, and that it's normal to be on this journey and to feel sadness, to feel grief, the overwhelm, but that you're not alone. So I am in this moment.
Well, I hope all of our community found something that resonated with them and that will help them be present today as we go through the rest of our workshops. Amanda, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Erin. I appreciate being here. Thank you for having me.